Hey YouTube, I'm back again with another Chrony test. Last night I installed this aluminum breech from Baker Air Guns. I've had this, it was sitting in my toolbox, and it's kind of one of the reasons I bought another 362 because I had a 22-inch barrel and this breech. You end up starting to accumulate parts. It's a good reason to buy a gun. So I'm curious to see if this makes any difference with upping the velocity or any difference to velocity. So let's get set up and do some shooting. So as you can see, you have um, the breech screw hole. Let's see how a pellet, if they hang up in there. Yep, hangs up. And I'm using Crosman Premier hollow point 14.3 grains. 8 pumps. All right, let's see how she does. .602. Huh. I actually felt air blow back at me. And it sounded like a pop. Something isn't right with this. I have a feeling I might know what it is too. Let's try another shot. Here we go. 605. Well, I don't need to do any more shooting. Let's go inside where I have more light and I'll show you what I think's going on. Okay, I'm back in the garage, and what I suspect my problem is the transfer port is not sealing properly. And I don't know if it shows up well for you guys, but it looks a little cockeyed in there. So what I think I'm going to do to try to confirm that, I'm going to give it a couple pumps. It's empty. Put a piece of paper over here and see if it moves when I shoot it. Okay, so I've reset this up. I just flipped the gun in a different direction. I have a receipt which is really thin. Just curious if that gets disturbed when I shoot it. And there you go. Let me pull this off and I'll show you guys the problem with this breech. Get some tools. Alright guys, I've got the Crosman steel breech installed on my 362. I actually robbed this off my drifter. Let's see if it Chronies any differently. Okay, we're using the Crosman hollow point 14.3s. I'll do 8 pumps and shoot 5 shots. I'll show you the difference here between the plastic and the steel breech. See how the pellet just hung up there? It gets caught on that breech bolt, and there's different fixes guys will suggest. I need to mess around with it. But anyway, so that's in, 8 pumps. All right, let's test it out, see how we do. .666. Huh. The plastic breech was higher than that, if I remember right, wasn't it? There we go, 674. We're heading in the right direction. Maybe the seals needed to get worked a little bit. It's 21 degrees out right now. 680, all right. Keep going. 682. I think it's settling in now. Last shot. .673. So I'll have to go back and compare. I guess that goes to show just how good the plastic breech is. You know, it actually, it's interesting to me. I mean, I definitely like the steel breech better. We haven't done any accuracy tests. It makes sense that the steel breech would be more accurate just because it holds the barrel It holds the barrel a lot further, more rigid, but for velocity, I don't see that we're getting any gains with a steel breech compared to a plastic. But you know what? That handle, let me put a different handle on and take one more shot. Just make sure that bolt wasn't moving. Okay, I just swapped the handle out. I had this one, and then I put on this nicer, longer one here that fits a little bit more snug in the notch. So the gun's all ready to go. I just test fired it and made sure the handle wasn't bouncing. So let's see if the velocity goes up a little bit from before, because it could have been the handle bouncing. 669. Nope. That, and the handle didn't bounce, so I don't know. We have this all set up. And it warmed up last time and the velocity went up, so just curious. Let's try one more. 678. Holy moly, I'm getting close to shredding my Chrony. My goodness, I need to get a different setup here. All right, 678. All right, so what I have, this is the aluminum breech from Baker Air Guns. It's a really nice part. It's got 2 grub screws for the barrel, but that issue I was having with the transfer port leaking, because mine arrived and the holes weren't machined in the right spot. So let's see if I can show that. I went and wiggled this, you know, did what I could, and I got it fitted on there, but then the transfer port was cocked over a little bit and then it leaked. So your stock breech, I'm just gonna go outside to outside. All right, so we're at 3.162. Oh, yeah, it looks like that's the same. Well, heck, you can even see the difference there. Look at that. That might not seem like a lot, but that's significant. Measured here. 3.113 it looks like. So that's a pretty big difference. And then I'm curious about these holes. This is your breech screw hole, and this is the rear one. Oopsie, wrong way. So we are at 2.6332. So 2.632. And then on the plastic breech, even that's a little off. 2.653. So what I'm gonna end up having to do is get a file the right shape and then egg the holes out a little bit so I can use this breech. Looking back, you know, I got this thing well over a year ago, and I wish I would have pushed back harder and said, hey, this thing is not machined correctly. I want a replacement breech. I don't want to have to be filing on a $50 part or whatever. I think it cost around that. But I didn't know much about air guns then, and so I'm just sharing it with you. I saw Amazon had some weird company with alphabet letters, like Chinese company, that was making aluminum breeches. They were like $30. I was kind of curious about those, but then I'm like, you can see how easy it is to screw one of these up. You know, and it wasn't through prime, so the return on it would probably be a hassle. I'm not going to take a chance. I'll make this one work for a different gun, but if you want to get a metal breech, I would recommend getting the Crosman steel breech. I've had, what, 3 of them, and they just plonk right on, no issues, they just go. And then, like I say, what happens is the pellet on these gets caught on this lip, and guys were talking about you could put wax in there. They had different things a person could fit. You could try spacing the breech screw up higher. They only have so much thread, and then that'll create less of a divot here. But the plastic breech, it has less of a drop to that shoulder, and it just feeds pellets beautifully. So anyway, kind of some interesting stuff, I think. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.